Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk. Before we get started today, I'd just like to thank you all so much for joining me here today. And if you haven't yet, all I ask is that you please like and subscribe. So, what we're going to talk about here today is a book that I read recently, and I don't usually do this on this channel about book reviews and all that sort of thing, but this is something that has entered my mind that has completely changed my way of thinking and the context in which I think about most situations in life. So that's what we're going to talk about in today's video. And what that subject is a book that I've read recently called Die with Zero by Bill Perkins. And if you haven't yet read this book, I really encourage you to do so. Because what this book outlines is something I've never really thought before, because really my whole life up until now, I've chased a dollar amount. I've put so much money away for future endeavors, and I never thought about the experiences right now, and that right now, the way I am currently with the current time, physical abilities, health, everything that's going on in my life will never be the same as it is now. And I am trading my time now for the future, which is not guaranteed. And this book really opened my eyes to that, because what I love the most is that I'm really a financial guy. I love finances, I love economics, and interest rates are something that we think of in terms of the money in our bank account, what we can earn, an interest rate, maybe on our mortgage, whatever else the case may be. But we don't think of interest rates in terms of our life, because let's say you're 5 years old and you're putting something off till tomorrow. The interest rate's very low on that because you have theoretically lots of time left in your life. But if you are old and very near death, then that interest rate is much, much higher, because for you to put something off, that costs a lot more because you are not guaranteed tomorrow, right? So this is something that really, really opened my eyes and really got me to think about things. And the other aspect of this book, which I was at a pretty big situation in my main job as a first responder the other day, and it was quite a big scene. And luckily, nobody was seriously injured, but there was the potential of that. There was a potential of a very big disaster going down. And all I thought, because we've saved numerous people's lives over the years, and all that I could think after reading this book and getting this through my mind about interest rates and that, the interest rates of your life, and the fact that this could be your peak physical abilities and fitness, and the fact that we usually put away or think and plan to put away way more in the future than we need, and it would be much more beneficial to experience those things today, that when me or anybody else saves somebody else's life, that person is still going to die, right? They're still going to die. But what you've done to them, because you saved them, you've bought them more moments in their life. Maybe more experiences, more things that they wanted to do, more times with their loved ones, more times they can say they love who they love, or whatever else the case may be. That's all you really did, is that by keeping them alive for that day, you are buying them extra time. And this is something that really hit home with me, because I never really thought of life like that. And I am And I have been so invested in the future because I want to achieve the goals that I want to achieve, that a lot of times it's very hard for me to stay in the present. It's very, very difficult, right? So this is something that's really entered my mind recently. It's something that consumed my mind. And this brings me back to the fact that I love to travel, and I never, ever, ever want to put off trips. And the way my mind works is that if I ever want to go somewhere, and it's pretty hard to afford stuff sometimes because the cost of living is so high, and I make a pretty substantial amount of money, but even sometimes you have other expenses that come up, you have other investments that you want to do, and sometimes it's hard to justify. And really, I only like flying in first class, business class. So at times that's a little difficult to do, right? But what you need to do is figure out the experiences that you want to have in life and then reverse engineer how you're going to do that. And that's why I love credit card points, because just this year alone, as I've mentioned in a previous video, I mean, I've gotten over $30,000 of free travel this year. And for a lot of people, that's a yearly salary or half a yearly salary or whatever the case may be of after-tax dollars that you would put towards travel. I mean, I don't know anybody that's able to do that, right? And I think if more people began to think like this, that there's no other option. If they want to experience something in life, you don't need to go in debt for it. You don't need to do anything crazy, put off anything, but you do need to figure out a way how to do it, right? That, I think, is the way to live. That's the way I'm conducting my life even more so now today, is that if I want to do something, I have an experience, then I will figure out a way to get it done. And that's really the bottom line. And I have some friends that want to go on a trip in the summer as well, and I already have 5-6 trips booked this year. I think something along those lines of some pretty big ones as well. Going to Europe, US a couple times, and down south, and I got quite a few trips going on. But they proposed to me that another fun weekend to go away, and I looked at all my points and everything, and just the justification of going on a very expensive weekend, and I thought that, you know what? No, I'm not going to say no to this. I am going to find a way to get this done. Right? That is what I'm going to do, because that's the way to do it. And what I'll do now is I got another credit card, another welcome bonus. I'll hit that, use the points, and the whole trip will cost me a couple $100 rather than multiple thousands, right? Of something that I wasn't able to do. So that is really the key. Right? And I want you all to begin to think like that. That don't put off stuff that you have, that you want to do in your life. Just figure out a way to get it done. Go on the internet, figure it out. It's going to take some hard work. It's going to take sacrifice in the short term. But if you sacrifice days where you already didn't have stuff planned, in my opinion, to get those experiences that you want, that you really, really are after with the people that you love and adore, then, in my opinion, that is absolutely worth it. Right? Because you're going to live a life full of experiences. And we don't know when our last day is. I mean, I was in an emergency the other day, and I could have been, I could have fallen through a floor. I could have been burned. I could have been killed. And I think about that. And there is no guarantee for tomorrow or any day except for the present moment. So figure out what you want to do, put your nose to the grindstone, and get it done. Right? And that's it. And that is it. And that is what the book is all about. And that is the point I wanted to get across. And that is what's entering my mind. And I feel so blessed to have this in my mind right now. So I just wanted to share this all with you. And as always, I'd like to thank you all so much for tuning in. And all I ask is that you please like and subscribe. And we'll catch you in the next episode.